This SQL works, but I would not write it like this in production in most cases. My name is Lada, I'm a software engineer, and welcome to the channel. So, this is correct SQL, it gives correct result. But look at this part. This is where problem starts. You must read inside first, and then outside. And in bigger queries, it becomes really painful. Let's take a look at the cleaner version. So what we need to do for this? It could be very simple steps. We simply should copy this part, our subquery, put it on the top, add with clause, add name, on the stats, for example, say s, and then simply paste. Just to explain, with, then we have our name for this subquery, and then we can reuse it in our bigger query. And let's give it a try. We have the same results. Structure is different. Now it reads top to bottom, step by step, no nesting inside join. And that's exactly what a common table expression, this is a common table expression, does. It's just a named query block. You define a result first and reuse it later. That's it, no magic. The real problem is not SQL, it's readability. And with nested queries, your brain jumps inside out. With common table expressions, it becomes linear. You follow steps naturally. And one more practical thing. You can debug common table expressions quite easily. So we already have with or the stats as, so we just count some total orders, and we would like to know how many orders for each user and so on. And if at some point we would like to understand what this common table expression returns, we simply do the following steps. Select all from and our name. Let's run. And we understand what this order stats return, and if something is wrong, we simply check it once again, update, and then we remove this debug line and continue with our query. This is very useful in backend systems, production, whatever. Let's take a look at real-world SQL pattern. Probably at some point you need a few steps, like let's say aggregation, filtering, or something like that. And to have a few common table expressions, you should name them one by one, and you can reuse common table expressions inside another ones. So, for example, first of all, we get paid orders, then we reuse our paid orders, and then we do the final query. So we simply have step 1, filter data, step 2, aggregate it, and finally join the users. Each step is visible, nothing is hidden, and this is how production SQL stays maintainable. One important detail. Sometimes it's a matter of optimization, but you need to check the query plans for your specific query and your specific subquery and compare the results. So sometimes subqueries could be faster, but it depends. And today, readability is usually the main reason to use common table expressions. And finally, let's run it. And we have some data. By the way, I will attach the sample data and the SQL queries, so you could run it on your own, and feel free to do it. Okay, and the last tiny but useful detail. Sometimes I see a common mistake, and this query works as well. But actually, this adds no value and no structure improvement. So avoid this pattern because it has no point. Congrats, you already know what this common table expression is. And to sum up, let me simplify everything. If query is simple, do not use common table expression. But if query has multiple steps, usually you should use common table expressions. And that's it. Common table expressions don't make SQL faster, but they make it easier to read. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas for the next topics, please drop them in the comments. And I would really appreciate likes and subscriptions. And thank you so much. See you soon.